Time is our most valuable asset, limited and irreplaceable. Success isn't a stroke of luck, it's the result of deliberate, consistent effort made day in and day out. If another year slips by without real progress, the root cause isn't the world around you, it's within. It's the absence of bold action, the lack of direction, and the quiet sabotage of self-doubt. Owning that truth is where your power begins. Today offers a decision: stay where you are or take control and rewrite your path. When your vision is clear and your efforts intentional, change becomes inevitable. This moment can spark your transformation. Time doesn't stop, and neither should your ambition. Move with urgency. Let go of hesitation. Make this the breakthrough year you've been waiting for. You don't need another goal on paper. You need a revolution, one that reshapes how you think, how you act, and how you show up every day. Here's where it starts. First, the power of purpose. Too many people drift through life like aimless ships, hoping success finds them by chance. But that's not how it works. Real success demands a target, a vivid, unwavering vision that guides every decision, every move, and every habit. Without that clarity, life becomes an endless loop of repetition, days blending into weeks with little to show for it. But a strong sense of purpose? That breaks the pattern. It injects energy into your actions and turns ordinary days into stepping stones toward greatness. If there's one trait every high achiever shares, it's this: clarity. They know exactly where they're going. Every step is intentional. Every decision aligns with their end goal. No matter their background or field, they succeed because they navigate with precision. They don't wander through life, hoping fate will steer them in the right direction. Instead, they take control, driven by a clear purpose, and set their course toward a destination they've chosen. Take Edwin C. Barnes, for example. His dream wasn't vague or ordinary. He didn't just want to meet Thomas Edison, he was determined to become Edison's partner. Barnes had no money, no connections, and no obvious way in. But what he did have was a vision so vivid it refused to let go. With unwavering focus, he made his way to Edison's lab and refused to give up until he earned his place. His purpose didn't just inspire action, it demanded it. And because of that relentless clarity, his dream became a reality. He eventually stood beside Edison, not as a fan, but as a trusted business partner. That's the power of knowing exactly what you want. Writing down your goals might seem simple, but it's one of the most transformative steps you can take. Goals that live only in your mind tend to vanish. But written goals? They become real. They create urgency. They give shape to your ambition. When your goals are specific, measurable, and clearly defined, they become anchors that pull you forward even when life tries to distract you. Think back on your journey. How many times has a year slipped by without true progress simply because you didn't have a sharp, written goal guiding your path? To break free from that cycle, start with intention. Ask yourself the hard questions: what exactly do you want to achieve this year? Who do you want to become? What will your life look like if you fully commit to that transformation? Answer honestly and vividly. Let that vision fuel your momentum. When purpose burns inside you, it becomes nearly impossible to stay idle. It becomes your shield against procrastination, your compass in the chaos, and your power source when things get hard. The world's most impactful creators, athletes, inventors, and visionaries didn't sit around waiting for a spark. They became the spark. They nurtured a fire inside so strong that it turned their goals into legacies. Having a clear and compelling purpose doesn't just guide your path, it strengthens your resilience. When your vision is strong, obstacles lose their power. They become temporary challenges rather than permanent setbacks. Every difficulty becomes a test that sharpens your focus and deepens your commitment. Because when you know exactly where you're headed, no roadblock is big enough to stop you. Purpose also sharpens your decision-making. With clarity, choices are no longer overwhelming. You know what aligns with your vision and what doesn't. This focus filters out distractions, allowing you to invest your time and energy only where it truly counts. Instead of scattering your efforts in all directions, you're moving forward with precision. Think back to the last goal you accomplished. You probably had a clear picture in your mind, something vivid that pulled you forward. That mental image made it easier to make choices, stay consistent, and stay motivated. Now, contrast that with the time you felt directionless. Without a clear target, procrastination creeps in, distractions take over, and days blur together. That contrast says it all. Clarity fuels progress, while confusion breeds delay. So, right now, take a moment to visualize the life you want 1 year from today. Be specific. What does it look like? How do you feel? What have you achieved? The more detailed, the better. Then, write it down. Read it often. Let it become your compass. Your future depends on the clarity you create today. Every directionless day adds up to years of missed potential. But when you live with intention, each day becomes a stepping stone towards something extraordinary. The moment you define your vision, you unlock the power to shape your life. With that vision front and center, every decision, every moment, and every action becomes infused with purpose. Your future won't be left to chance, it will be built with precision. So commit now to living on purpose. Get crystal clear on your vision. Chase it with everything you have. Watch as that clarity turns goals into milestones and dreams into results. A single year of focused intention can transform your entire life. It all starts with mindset. Every outcome, success or failure, originates in thought. The mindset you hold frames the reality you experience. Your thoughts are the lens through which you see the world. They shape your actions, mold your habits, and influence your results. Doubt, negativity, and limiting beliefs act like a mental fog, hiding possibilities and paralyzing progress. But what about confidence, belief, and possibility thinking? They illuminate paths you never noticed and attract success like a magnet. Highly successful individuals understand a profound truth: the mind shapes the world they experience. They don't leave their thoughts to chance, they curate them. They intentionally foster a mindset filled with positivity, solutions, and growth. By consciously choosing empowering thoughts, they reprogram their inner world to support their outer achievements. But this kind of mindset doesn't happen overnight. It takes consistent, intentional practice. It means catching negative self-talk the moment it appears and replacing it with affirmations that reinforce confidence and potential. It's about disciplining your thoughts, flipping the script from limitation to possibility, and surrounding yourself with voices that uplift, challenge, and push you forward. Because the people and environments we engage with matter. Negative energy drains drive. But being around those who encourage, inspire, and believe in you, that builds resilience. That fuels momentum. Pair that with a steady stream of nourishing content, books, podcasts, deep conversations, and your mindset begins to shift rapidly. Just as the body thrives on healthy food, the mind thrives on empowering ideas. Accelerate. Can you feel it? Accelerate. Hold on. You're moving forward. Feeding your mind with uplifting, growth-centered input lays the foundation for mental clarity, confidence, and enduring inspiration. And yet, despite knowing this truth, many let years pass unproductively, paralyzed by fear and consumed by doubt. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of uncertainty. These fears become chains, keeping people stuck in place, reliving the same year again and again. But those with a success-focused mindset view fear differently. They see it as a signal, not a stop sign, but a green light. A call to level up. Where others freeze, they move forward. They understand that growth always lives on the other side of fear. Discomfort is not the enemy, it's the entrance to progress. With each act of courage, confidence is born. The more you face fear, the more your belief in yourself grows. Over time, you stop waiting for permission or validation, you begin to expect success. And that expectation changes everything. When you believe that success is not only possible but inevitable, your thoughts, decisions, and actions begin to align. Belief creates movement. It sparks energy. It fuels persistence. In this way, belief becomes the ultimate catalyst. But remember this, your mind will either become your strongest ally or your biggest obstacle. It will either build your future or slowly sabotage it. That choice? It's yours. If your thoughts dwell on doubt, fear, and negativity, your mind becomes a silent destroyer, blocking progress and erasing potential. But when you train your mind to think in terms of possibility, resilience, and action, it becomes a force driving you toward your goals like a rocket with a locked trajectory. Start by becoming aware. Watch your thoughts. Catch the negative patterns. Challenge them. Replace them with truth, with strength, with belief. Build daily habits of mindfulness, gratitude, and visualization. Picture your goals vividly. Feel the success. Speak it into existence with conviction. Affirm your capability, your direction, and your commitment until your subconscious accepts it as fact. With discipline, this mindset becomes second nature. And when does that happen? Your thoughts won't just guide you, they'll propel you. Over time, this unshakable positivity leads to real, measurable changes in your career, your relationships, your health, and your personal growth. The most successful people aren't just reacting to life, they're redesigning it from within. They understand that the mind, when harnessed intentionally, becomes an infinite source of energy, creativity, and possibility. This is the core truth: success begins in the mind. Nurture it. Strengthen it. Invest in it daily. And watch as your life begins to reflect the strength of your inner world. The more you cultivate your mindset, the more opportunities begin to show up, not by luck, but by alignment. 3. Stop waiting for the right time. This illusion, the myth of perfect timing, is one of the greatest thieves of potential. People convince themselves they'll begin once they have more money, more experience, more confidence, or more time. But here's the truth no one wants to hear. There is no perfect time. Life will always be unpredictable. The conditions will never be flawless. Those who wait for ideal circumstances end up waiting forever. But those who succeed, they move forward anyway. They leap while they're still uncertain. They act even when the fear is loud. Because procrastination isn't reason, it's fear in disguise. It wears the mask of logic, telling you to wait for clarity, for permission, for security. But the more you wait, the harder it becomes to start. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into years. And suddenly, another year has slipped away unchanged. The most accomplished individuals don't wait. They create momentum. They begin where they are, with what they have. They embrace the learning curve, fail forward, and adjust as they go. For them, action is the antidote. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Every year, millions of people set goals: start a business, lose weight, change careers, learn a new skill. But few follow through. Why? Because most are waiting. Waiting for fear to go away. Waiting for certainty. But the truth? The gap between success and regret is one thing: the decision to take action despite the uncertainty. There will always be obstacles. Always be doubtful. But those who succeed don't wait for smooth roads, they walk through the storm anyway. And the moment they take that first step, everything begins to change. Momentum builds. Doors open. Confidence grows. The path reveals itself. And what once seemed out of reach starts to feel inevitable. That's how real transformation happens, not in a single moment of perfection, but through consistent, courageous action taken even when the conditions aren't perfect. So don't wait another year. Start now. Take one step, then another. Let movement be your message. Let action be your answer. Think about the most influential figures throughout history. They didn't wait for everything to be perfect. They moved despite the odds. Entrepreneurs launched businesses with nothing but an idea and grit. Artists painted through heartbreak and hunger. Athletes trained when motivation was nowhere to be found. The one thing they all had in common? They refused to let procrastination write their story. People often say, "I just need more time." But the truth is, time has never been the real issue, priorities are. If something truly matters, you make time for it. Because we all have the same 24 hours. And if there's time for scrolling, for Netflix, for excuses, there's time to build, to grow, and to move forward. Another common excuse is, "I need more experience." Sure, preparation matters, but only if it leads to action. The best way to learn is by doing. No one begins as a master. Expertise isn't found in theory, it's earned in the arena. The belief that you have to be ready before you start is comforting but false. Mastery is a result of action, not a prerequisite for it. And then there's confidence. People wait for it as if it will just show up one day. But confidence doesn't come first, it comes from leaping. It's not something you start with. It's something you build. The more you take action, the more capable you become, and from that competence, true confidence emerges. Waiting until you feel ready is the surest way to never begin. The truth? You probably won't feel ready. That's normal. That's human. But those who act anyway are the ones who break through. Now, let's talk about failure, the big fear that stops so many. Nobody wants to fail. But failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of the process. Every mistake, every setback, is a lesson in disguise. The only true failure is not starting at all. Those who embrace failure as feedback move forward. Those who fear it remain in place, watching as time passes and potential goes untapped. There's also this seductive lie: things will be better later. Life will calm down. Conditions will improve. You will finally feel ready. But that perfect window never arrives. The challenges you have today will be replaced with new ones tomorrow. Uncertainty is a constant. And the longer you wait, the heavier regret becomes. The single most powerful choice you can make is this: start now. Even if the first step is small. Even if the path is unclear. Even if fear is whispering doubts into your ear. Take the step. The moment you move, you create momentum. And momentum is what turns hesitation into transformation. If there's something important you've been putting off, this is your sign. The perfect time is a myth. But action? Action is real. And it's the only force strong enough to turn dreams into results. 4. Prosperity. Fear is the gatekeeper that holds people back from growth. It doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it whispers in disguise: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of standing out. These silent fears are what keep people trapped in comfort zones, dreaming big but acting small. The result? Another year passes filled with potential, yet empty of progress. Not because of a lack of opportunity, but because of how people respond to fear. Here's the truth: the people who achieve great things aren't fearless, they're just unwilling to let fear control them. They don't see fear as a stop sign. They see it as a signal to rise. Every breakthrough, it lives on the far side of fear. But fear thrives when you do nothing. The more you hesitate, the more it grows. It feeds off your doubts, your what-ifs, and your imagined worst-case scenarios. Here's the shift: fear starts to lose power the moment you take action. That first move, no matter how small, shifts everything. You don't need to feel fearless. You just need to move. One of the greatest myths about success is that it requires the absence of fear. The reality? Fear never completely disappears. But the more you face it, the smaller it becomes. The difference isn't fearlessness. It's courage. It's action despite fear. Waiting for fear to vanish is like waiting for a storm to apologize. It's not going to happen, but you can move anyway. And the moment you do, momentum kicks in, confidence builds, and fear starts to fade into the background. Failure. That big scary word? It's not the opposite of success, it's the path to it. Every person who's ever accomplished something meaningful has failed along the way. But they don't let failure define them. They learn from it. They adapt. They grow. Because failure is feedback, not a final verdict. The only real failure is quitting before you start. Think of Edison, who failed over 1,000 times before he lit up the world. Or Walt Disney, who was once told he lacked creativity before he reimagined it entirely. These stories aren't outliers, they rewrote maps. They show us that it's not about being perfect. It's about being resilient. So how do you move through fear? You start right where you are. Action is the antidote. Even the smallest step, writing down a plan, making a phone call, trying something new, can start to unravel fear's hold. Want to start a business? Research. Reach out. Sketch your first idea. Afraid of public speaking? Speak in front of a mirror. A friend. A small group. Confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you earn through action. And the more action you take, the more capable you feel. It's a loop. Action builds confidence, and confidence leads to more action. Waiting for the perfect moment is a trap. Waiting to feel ready is a lie. The people who win are the ones who move before they're ready, because that's how readiness is built. And here's another truth: most fears are exaggerations. You imagine the worst: embarrassment, criticism, failure. But the reality? Most people are too caught up in their own lives to focus on your mistakes. What you see as a disaster, others barely notice. So stop letting fear write your story. Stop letting hesitation steal your time. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be willing. Willing to try. Willing to fail. Willing to grow. Because the future belongs to those who move, not those who wait. Even when mistakes are made, they are quickly forgotten by others. But what about the lessons we gain? They stay with us forever. If you want the next year to be different, make the decision today. Fear is no longer a valid excuse. Commit to action, even when it's uncomfortable. Because fear isn't a wall, it's a doorway. A threshold between who you are and who you're capable of becoming. Every challenge faced, every risk taken, every failure endured, it's all progress. All growth. Ultimately, the decision is simple. Remain stuck in fear, or break through it. Those who embrace fear as part of the path will achieve more than they ever imagined. The most extraordinary transformations are reserved for those who step forward while still afraid. So make the decision. Today is the day to act, to grow, and to rise beyond fear. Surround yourself with the right people. The people you spend the most time with shape your future far more than you may realize. Whether you notice it or not, their energy becomes yours. Their mindset, their habits, their expectations, they subtly mold your own. Surround yourself with unmotivated, negative people. You will struggle to grow. Their excuses, their fear, and their complacency become the atmosphere you breathe. But surround yourself with driven, focused, ambitious individuals and everything changes. Their standard becomes your standard. Their hunger for progress becomes contagious. The fastest way to level up is to upgrade your circle. Successful people don't stumble into high-level environments by accident. They create them. They find mentors who've walked the path. They join mastermind groups filled with accountability and shared ambition. They deliberately build networks that challenge them, stretch them, and elevate them. Meanwhile, those who stay stuck often cling to comfort zones filled with people who reinforce bad habits and validate small thinking. The difference between success and stagnation is often a matter of who you're standing next to. Success is contagious and so is mediocrity. Your environment is either pushing you forward or pulling you back. There's no neutral ground. That's why you must choose wisely. Time is your most valuable asset. Invest it in people who inspire your growth, challenge your excuses, celebrate your wins, and hold you to your highest standards. Likewise, be bold enough to step back from those who drain you, those who spread negativity, gossip, or complacency. Every relationship is either a ladder or an anchor. One of the greatest tools for growth. Mentorship. A mentor is someone who's already done what you want to do. Their guidance can save you years of trial and error. Their wisdom? Priceless. They help you sidestep pitfalls, clarify your direction, and move faster than you could alone. Successful people seek mentors not because they're weak but because they're smart. They understand that proximity to wisdom accelerates progress. And beyond one-on-one mentorship, there's power in community. Mastermind groups, professional networks, online circles filled with doers and builders. When you're part of a tribe that's striving for excellence, settling becomes impossible. You're surrounded by accountability, inspired by progress, and reminded that struggle is normal but so is overcoming it. In contrast, negative environments kill dreams slowly. Hang around complainers, procrastinators, or those who dodge responsibility, and you'll start to mirror them. Why? Because the mind adjusts to its surroundings. If everyone around you accepts average, your brain will too. This is how people stay stuck in jobs they hate, routines that drain them, or relationships that shrink them. Not because they're incapable, but because their environment tells them it's normal. Recognizing the power of social influence is the first step. But changing it? That's what creates a new reality. Upgrading your circle, the power of intentional relationships. Upgrading your circle isn't something that happens by chance, it's a deliberate, intentional effort. It starts with an honest self-assessment of the relationships in your life. Ask yourself, who are the 5 people I spend the most time with? Do they encourage my growth, or do they hold me back? Do they inspire me to push beyond my limits or reinforce my fears and doubts? The answers to these questions will reveal a lot about whether your environment is a source of strength or an obstacle to success. If you realize that your current circle is limiting your potential, it's time to make changes. Start seeking out new connections. Attend networking events. Join organizations that align with your goals. Enroll in personal development programs. Reach out to people who share your vision for the future. But it's not just about adding new people to your life, it's also about creating boundaries. Limiting exposure to negative influences is crucial. While it's not always necessary to cut ties entirely, it's important to protect your mindset. You can remain cordial with certain individuals without allowing their toxic energy to seep into your own. The goal isn't isolation, it's cultivation. Create an environment that fosters positivity, growth, and ambition. 1 year from now, your life will reflect the people you spend time with today. If you're surrounded by those who strive for greatness, you'll likely make progress. But if you continue to engage with those who embrace excuses and complacency, another year will pass with little to no change. The choice is clear: level up your circle, and success will follow. The right environment can make all the difference between stagnation and extraordinary growth. The fastest way to accelerate your progress both personally and professionally is to be intentional about the relationships you invest in. Find people who inspire you, challenge your limits, and support your vision. Success is never a solo journey, it's built through connections. Surround yourself with those who reflect the future you want to create, and watch that future become your reality. Commit to daily progress, small steps, big transformations. Success isn't built overnight, it's built daily. Many people fail because they expect massive results to come quickly. They chase shortcuts, look for the instant fix, only to be disappointed when success doesn't materialize immediately. But the truth is, small, consistent actions over time create the most profound transformations. Progress may feel slow at first, but those who commit to daily improvements, no matter how small, achieve remarkable results over the long term. The key to long-term success is developing the right habits. Success isn't about making one grand move. It's about doing the little things consistently, setting daily goals, following a productive morning routine, reading for personal growth, and taking steps toward your long-term vision. Instead of focusing on how far they still have to go, successful individuals focus on what they can do today to move forward. Each small victory adds up, creating unstoppable momentum. Excuses are the biggest enemy of progress. There will always be reasons to delay action: fatigue, distractions, fear, or self-doubt. But those who achieve great things learn to push through discomfort and take control of their time. They understand that it's discipline, not motivation, that drives results. Motivation fades, but disciplined habits create lasting success. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They act despite the challenges. A year from now, your life will either be better or remain the same. The difference will lie in the choices you make today. Imagine if every day you took just one meaningful action toward your success: reading 10 pages of a book, working out for 30 minutes, practicing a skill, or making one important connection. Over time, these small efforts will compound into extraordinary results. You don't have to waste another year waiting for change. The choice to grow, to take action, and to commit to progress is always available. The only question is, will you take it? Start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Your transformation begins now. Take one step today that brings you closer to your vision. Make today count, it's the first step of your incredible journey. Don't waste another year. Make this one your best.